Math.
Now we're going to look at type 2 of these fraction exponent sums. So in this case, it is where there's a plus or a minus between terms. Let's look at the steps you're going to follow. Step number 1, give each exponent its own base. So in this case, we look at this sum on screen, 2 to the power x plus 3, I'm going to split up and say it's 2 to the power x times 2 to the power 3. Okay, you do that with each one. Then you take out the common factor, normally the term that has the x in it. Then you'll be able to cancel out something and then simplify from there. So let's do this and see how it works. First things first, give each exponent its own base. 2 to the power x times 2 to the power 3 minus 3. Now here we can do this again, 2 to the power x times 2 to the power negative 1. At the bottom, we can also split 2 to the power x, 2 to the power minus 2. Now if I'm looking at what is my common factor, there and there, I can take out 2 to the power x at the top and it will cancel with the bottom 2 to the power x. So let's see. 2 to the power x, what's left over is 2 cubed minus 3 times 2 to the power minus 1. At the bottom, I can't take it out as a common factor, but I can see I am going to cancel it out right now. Then we are now at step 4. We cancelled out. So now we can just either type it on the calculator or do the fractions in your head. So 2 cubed is 8 minus 3 over 2. And that is now over 2 to the power minus 1. So for those of you who remember the rules, that 2 to the power minus 1, I must now at some stage move it to the top. Okay, but you are in grade 11. You are not going to get an extra mark for showing each step of the fractions. So you can just type that in your calculator and you'll see the answer is 26. So you can show all the steps in between, but on the memos, you're not going to get extra marks for that. Okay, let's go again. Step 1, give each exponent its own base. So that's 6. I do not need to prime base this 6 because it doesn't have a variable. You can, but it's just going to be a waste of time. So plus 2 times 3 to the power n times 3 to the power minus 1. The bottom, 2 times 3 to the power 1 times 3 to the power n. My common factor in this case, 3 to the power n, 3 to the power n, and it's there at the bottom as well, so it will be able to cancel out. So what I'm going to say is I take out 3 to the power n, open bracket, what's left is going to be 6 plus 2 times 3 to the power minus 1, and then all over that 2 times 3 I can say is a 6. Let's just first do that. So I am allowed to multiply them because they have the same exponent. So now I can cancel this out. And what's left is going to be, I'm just going to type it on my calculator. The answer is 10 over 9. Next one. Give each exponent its own base. The 24 just stays there. 2 to the power x times 2 to the power minus 2 minus 4 times 2 to the power x. At the bottom, 2 to the power x times 2 to the power 1 minus 2 to the power x. Okay, so in this sum, I can see I have a minus at the top and at the bottom. So I'm going to take out a common factor for each part of the fraction. So in this case, 2 to the power x, and what's left is 24 times 2 minus 2, or 2 to the power minus 2, minus 4. At the bottom, I'm just going to be left with, if I take out the common factor, this is 2 minus 1. Those cancel out, and if I do this on my calculator, it will tell me the top value is going to be 24 divided by 4, which is 6 minus 2 is just a 2, and the bottom is just 1. Final answer is 2. So please look at the difference between this video and the previous video. In this one, there were multiple terms. So there were pluses or minuses separating the terms. In the previous one, it was all just multiply and divide. And the sums were completely different just because of that small thing. So you need to really concentrate in exams. I hope it makes sense, guys.
If this video helped you, please like and subscribe.
Math.